Want to give a quick shout out to the flagship sponsor of David Talks Buffs and David Talks Broncos YouTube channel, and that is Profit X, America's #1 sports prediction market. This is peer-to-peer sports prediction where players play against each other, like you and me, instead of a sports book versus the house. You almost always get the best odds on any play that you're looking to make. They operate in over 40 states, including Texas, where I reside. So use the promo code Dave and claim up to $200 in profit cash for all plays in the first 30 days of playing on the site. Terms and conditions apply. Go ahead, click the link in the description, sign up using my promo code Dave on Profit X, and join me on America's #1 sports prediction market.
God bless Bo Nix.
That's sacrifice.
He's grabbed and he's going to be sacked.
Broncos country, man, we get the victory. We bounce back against Cincinnati. Dude, I had to rock the blue light glasses for tonight's late show. Hopefully I don't stay up till 3 a.m. again. But joined here, of course, by my friends Mark and Kodiak. Jeremy will hopefully be joining in a little bit. But yeah, want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Be sure to like, subscribe to all the channels. Get involved. Let us know who your MVPs were. Shout out to Roan. We got BK in the building. Y'all leave a like. But man, let's get right to it, man. We'll hear from Kodiak first, then Mark. I want to hear your takes on this. It's just big victory. How are you feeling? Yeah, give me one big takeaway, I guess, from this 28-3 thrashing of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, one big takeaway I have is that things are more of the same from last year. And while that's often been a bad thing for this team, one of the things we did a really, really good job of last season was whenever we should have absolutely demolished a team, particularly overmatched teams like Carolina, like Atlanta, that came into our house, whenever we should have beat the brakes off them, more often than not, we usually did. And the fact that the Bengals didn't have Burrow, I was kind of worried about Browning up until this week. And then after the opening drive, I was like, man, I'm kind of worried now. But, it was really nice to see that the Broncos, they were up to the test. Like, they definitely took this week seriously, which I felt like it was something they did not do 2 weeks ago against Indianapolis. But regardless, just nice to see that we got the dub tonight.
Yeah, man, it was great. Mark?
Well, one big takeaway is that the Bengals are trash also. Not to take anything away from the Broncos, but, I mean, I'm telling you, Zach Taylor, like, that guy's been carried by Joe Burrow too. And Joe Burrow should be like an automatic Hall of Famer because of what he has to deal with when he goes away. But thank God, man. Thank God we got a type of game that I've been wanting for so long. Dominating the time of possession, dominating the run game, 512 yards to 159. So, yes, the Bengals are terrible, but it was great. Just like Kodiak said, it was great to see us do what we were supposed to do. Just to give you guys a crazy nugget, the play distribution, like breakdown in terms of how many plays they had versus how many we had, was exactly the same as it was for us against the Chargers last week, but flipped. And we only lost by 3 points. So it just shows that, like, the little things really matter. But that was pretty eye-opening to me. But David, how you feeling, man?
Dude, I'm relieved. I just want to see this team bounce back and dominate. And I know it's the Bengals. I know they suck. But aside from that first drive where we had a couple dumb penalties on our defense, Riley Moss's short arms showed up. After that, dude, it was lights out. It was absolutely lights out for this defense. Shout out Nick Benito with a sack and a half, Jonathan Cooper half a sack, John Franklin Myers with a sack. Jake Browning, man, clearly the game plan was to get that ball out of his hands within like a second. And for the most part, like, he was doing that well in the first half. But yeah, thank God, dude, Cincinnati's not coached well at all. The amount of penalties they had was absolutely insane. And again, you want to blame. I put last week's loss on Bo Nix, man, on my channel, right, on this show. And aside from one dumb decision, man, outside of that, he played how I wanted to see him play. Decisive, much better footwork today. Not perfect footwork, but yeah, I want to give Bo Nix his props, man, especially after that inexcusable interception that he had there on 4th and 1. The positive spin from this is that he got the ball with what? Was it like a minute 20 left? I can't even remember. Something like that. Drove the field down, made some big time throws over the middle of the field. We talked a lot about that last week, and he hit the intermediate to deep part of the field over the middle of the field. He did that very well in this game. He would have had even better numbers if Troy didn't drop a couple of those, right? Very happy with seeing Bo Nix play well and seeing us run the ball, Mark, as you're talking about this, man. Like, I like the balance that this team played with today. We didn't get too cute. None of that. We just dominated. And, dude, I almost fell asleep in the second half. I was so bored. Like, I'll take it. Want to get to a few comments here. And then, yeah, Kodiak, Mark, like, feel free to chime in here with some of your other thoughts right now because I'm still collecting mine. But
I'm throwing down on food, so do your thing.
Oh, yeah. Saying, holy shit, Troy Franklin and RJ Harvey screens worked for once. 500 yards of offense. RJ Harvey looks like a second-round running back. I thought he looked good. Let's talk about the running backs, man. J.K. Dobbins breaks the 38-game streak, gets 100 yards, 101 yards. He was fantastic. And RJ Harvey, he added a lot of yards on the ground as well, 58. And then he also had 40 yards receiving as well. So 98 all-purpose yards for RJ Harvey. When we take a look at Dobbins, he had 105 total yards because he had 4 yards receiving. But Cody, dude, what did you think of this ground game?
Man, so for all the criticizing I've done of this coaching staff and of this front office for how things have, panned out for us so far this season, one thing I got to give them a huge, huge shout out for is correcting the run game. Because last year we came on basically every post-game show and we were just like, man, the run game was trash. Man, the run game was horrible. Man, we couldn't run the ball when it really, really mattered. And, once again, I guess it was just all you needed to do was just add J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. So, and, that is a decent investment as far as the running back's sake. But J.K. Dobbins was still a free agent in June. There were a lot of free agent backs available this past offseason. I saw a lot of people talking about Nick Chubb. I was like, I want no part of that. I saw people talking about Jamal Williams. I was like, I want no part of that either. But then, J.K. Dobbins was my favorite of the remaining free agent backs available. And this is why. Because the J.K. Dobbins we see early on in seasons is so, so good. And the fact that we got 500 yards of offense, I think they showed on the ESPN graphic, we were top 8 in rushing yards over the first 3 weeks of the season with like 130 a game-ish. And now we got like what? I don't even know how many tonight, like 160, 170 if I had to guess. So just the fact that we are probably going to be ranked as a top 5 rushing team in the NFL after this week, absolutely absurd to me. I could have never seen it before the season began. And for all the criticism that I and a lot of other people have given to this front office, to this coaching staff, for how things have gone this past season, yes, I know you were playing the Bengals, but I got to give them a huge credit to fixing one of the big areas that I was really, really critical of this team of last year.
Mark, were you going to say something?
No. I mean, I'm in full agreement. I mean, J.K. Dobbins, he looks so good, man. Like, he really does. And I was really happy that they mixed in RJ, especially late, just to give him some confidence and some run. He looked really good. He's a tough dude, man. Like, you kind of forget how strong of a runner he is because he's really small. I was a little bit mad that it was RJ that scored the touchdown and not JK because I would have won my fantasy league. But that's just me being selfish. But no, it was amazing, man. 4.9 yards per carry average, 186 yards. I thought the balance was amazing. And I thought Sean did a good job of like calling a lot of plays that weren't technically run plays, but they were basically run plays, early on downs. We talked about like the Troy Franklin screens and the screens to RJ. I mean, those things worked out wonderfully to put us in great situations too. So a really good game, still a whole lot of things to clean up, but man, you feel a lot better now going into, Philadelphia next week with a dominating win like that, and where your defense really didn't have to play a lot, which is nice too.
Yes. Yeah, and the screens to Marvin Mims were fantastic as well. I thought that, again, one of the complaints this year has been like, where's Marvin Mims? Showed up on the injury report on Saturday, made me a little nervous, but got him involved in the screen game. I think that our receivers blocked much better than what we've seen. And when you're going up against a bad defense in Cincinnati, you'll want to see improvement there. And we finally took advantage of opportunities, closer to the sidelines like that. Shout out to Pat Bryant. I know that maybe he had 1 or 2 targets, I think, in today's game, but I think his biggest play of the game is something that a lot of casuals won't notice. Although I think the broadcast did point this out.
Yeah.
His block on that linebacker or edge player on that Marvin Mims end around was a thing of beauty. And it made me so happy to see him kind of give an assist right there to Mims. But we executed with a lot more urgency on offense with these screen passes. That's been like a huge issue that I've had, is that those balls have just been getting there late. It's been taking too much time to get out towards the sideline. And still, like you said, a handful of things to clean up offensively, but it was nice to see us attack all parts of the field in today's game and not really have a struggle doing that. I think that BK had in here, Bo Nix's footwork wasn't the best on that deep over to Troy Franklin, but dude, I thought that he put that right there, man, where Troy should have had that. And today, I think it was more of just, had some bad drops by the receivers, and Bo, for the most part, was on his game again, outside of that one dumb decision, I thought.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, it's one of those things where it feels like we're just this close, because last week it was Bo. This week it's the receivers. So, it's one of those things that it just feels so early. It still feels early, even though we're already a quarter of the way through the season, which pains me to say, because it feels like we haven't barely seen any football so far. But regardless, no, you're completely correct. And it's more of a timing thing. But what I think helps mitigate the pain of missing those is 500 total yards of offense. And that's something that we can hang our hat on. And even though Cincinnati, they were down Shamar Stewart, I don't know if they lost, I don't remember if they lost Hendrickson for the game or not, but do you guys remember if he came back in?
Dude, I
think so. And then I feel like they just kind of took him out because it was a shit show. But
yeah, exactly. Either way, you did exactly what you should have done against a porous Bengals defense, a defense that was completely overmatched. And Hendrickson, he was one of the guys that really could have wrecked the game if you weren't careful. But Bowles and McGlinchey, I felt like they did a phenomenal job against him tonight.
Yes. I guess we can get to this, man. There's still a lot of like positive shout outs that I want to give, but dude, I think that this was Luke Wattenberg, like by far his worst game of the season so far. And I was kind of honestly wondering if we were going to see some Forsythe there in the fourth quarter, but we didn't. Anybody got a take with this? Anybody want to talk about Luke Wattenberg's performance or lack thereof tonight?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's like his Garrett Bowles game, right? Where it's like, all right, it was terrible, man. It was bad, like really, really bad in terms of the penalties. But he rebounds from it. But, I mean, again, I just think it's so easy to be like, put in Forsythe. I'm done with Wattenberg. Like, I'm guilty of that too. But it's easier to say that than actually do it, because overall the unit's still playing really well. And again, like today, how many snaps did you feel like Bo was reaching for or grabbing above his head? Like, it's the little things, but I don't know. If they make a change, I'm fine with it. If they don't, you just got to kind of deal with it. But it was really rough. And I will say this. So like on the penalty that they called him for an eligible man downfield wasn't his fault at all.
No.
And then because, obviously Bo just had pressure and he got to the screen a little bit late. That's just is what it is. And then there was another one where I felt like it was a holding, I think, and it was like super ticky-tacky. Like I didn't like that. And then he had a few that were really bad. But again, it's like, what kind of mental toughness is he going to have, coming out of this game? So hopefully it makes him better. I don't know. But I mean, when you have just like Kodiak said, when you have 500 yards of offense, almost 200 yards rushing, it's hard to beat down a lineman. It's one of those where if he's going to have a bad game, this is the right game to have a bad game. So
exactly. Honestly, I feel like he blocked really well tonight. Now, obviously, penalties, I guess you could sit here and say, other than that, how was the play, Miss Abraham Lincoln? But, I think, regardless of all that, hopefully he moves on from it. Hopefully he can, we saw Garrett Bowles get flagged a lot. And once again, we have a very decent sample of this unit playing well. I feel like this unit has played pretty dang solid all year long, not to the level that they did last year, but once again, Streif's a heck of an offensive line coach. Sean Payton is an offensive line savant. So, and we have a bigger sample size of this offensive line being one of the best in the game rather than not. Therefore, once again, I thought they blocked really well tonight. And obviously, not to make excuses for Wattenberg, we do need to get that cleaned up. We're not going to beat Philly if we don't get that cleaned up. But yeah, if you're going to have a bad game, you said it correctly. You know what? Tonight was the night to do it. And it was a drive-killing performance by Wattenberg in our second drive of the third quarter, I think. Ultimately ended up being inconsequential. So, yeah.
Now, I know it's here somewhere. Mike had it. You got to talk about our legitimate wide receiver one on this team. You just can't deny it. Cortland Sutton. Mike saying people need to get off my guy Sutton. That's right. He's on a cheap contract anyways for what he's putting out right now. 5 receptions, 81 yards, and a touchdown. A handful of third down conversions as well. Looked tough as ever. And I mean, probably his toughest catch of the night was that beautiful touchdown catch across the middle of the field, knowing he was about to get lit up and displaying the sure hands to put us up 21-3 at the half, man. Let's talk about the receiving core, I think, like in general right now. And even I can't remember, man. Like, was one of y'all like real big on Evan Ingram too? I would just love to hear kind of your guys' thoughts on Cortland as well as what we saw out of Adam Troutman and Evan Ingram today.
Mm-hmm. Mark, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, man. Mike's not lying, bro. We got to get off Cortland's back, and I'm kind of one of the guys that have always been a little bit tougher on Cortland for a lot of different reasons. But he's just a playmaker. He's just turned into Mr. Reliable. I'm really happy he seems to have completely stopped with the drop passes. Like, he's just uber reliable. Bo loves him. He makes the tough catches. He was awesome, and dude, he scored every touchdown this year right before half. That's just what he does. Like the Titans game, right before half. And then I think he even scored. Did he score in the? I don't think he scored versus the Colts.
No.
Right before half against the Chargers. Right before half before the Bengals. So he's coming up in these clutch situations too. So Cortland looked great. His yards after the catch, what really stood out to me as well, like making guys miss, getting downfield was great. I thought Troy had an up and down game. You can see big improvement. Like I still think he's playing really well. He had a couple of drops which were tough, but he's really tough, man. Like he's taking big hits. He's holding on to the ball. His yak has been good, and he was open on that deep one. That would have been awesome if they connected there. But I thought he looked great. Obviously, Pat Bryant. I want to see him get more targets, but he's just so tough. And then Marvin Mims can do everything. Evan Ingram, it's like it seems like they're working him back from something, or they're trying to like hide him for a certain part of the season almost, because they just have him running like a lot of screens. They have him blocking, it seems like, a lot more. He had 7 targets, 4 catches for 29.
7 targets today?
Yeah. And I think 3, and I think he had 3 different targets that were all taken away from penalties too, that were catches. So we're gonna have to see, man. It's kind of a work in progress with him, obviously. Still, he just doesn't seem right. I'm curious how many, like, what percentage of the snaps that he played.
It was weird to see him just used, like straight up in the screen game, because I mean, I know it's tantalizing to get him, out in open space and all that, but you bring him in to, be that Michael Thomas big slot guy, right? And we didn't see any of that today. Maybe we'll see it against Philly. I hope.
Yeah. Maybe, or maybe at some point, and like I said, I mean, it could just be that he's battling some sort of injuries. He kind of looked uncomfortable, not like really frustrated at times, but that's just me maybe reading into it. But yeah, I mean, dude, you like to see him just stretch the seam, man, and get on those linebackers and make them work. I mean, that's really what you brought him in for. But just hoping for the best with this tight end group at this point, man. Like, it just kind of is what it is.
I think it was good
much
mojo
worse,
not activating Lucas Kroll. It was good mojo. Everybody
it was,
played
and
better.
it was a little. It was. I wouldn't say it was surprising. Well, I guess it's not really surprising because there hasn't been a week where Atkins and Ingram are back. So do you think it's just a result of that, or do you think that his days are numbered here?
I think they're numbered personally because here's the thing, man. I like Adam Prentice. I think you keep him on the roster. You keep Nate Atkins as your third tight end right now. I know it ain't sexy, but give me Nate Atkins. Give me root beer over Lucas Kroll, dude. So I want to be surprised when some of these guys are ready to come off of IR if Lucas Kroll is one of those guys that's cut.
Yeah, 1000%. And honestly, I texted you guys in that Discord today. I was just like, let's go. Lucas Kroll's inactive. Because listen, man, with Lucas Kroll, for the past, I remember when we deactivated Dulcich last year, I was way more surprised at that. I was like, wow, we're not even going to give him a chance to, even right the ship with the experiment. Then he ended up getting cut. And with Lucas Kroll, you just have a receiving tight end who doesn't receive. So, what's he good for, in my opinion? He doesn't catch, big first downs. He doesn't catch touchdowns. So, I literally don't.
And he can't block.
Yeah, he can't block. So, when I think about Kroll, and I made this very same point this past offseason, I don't remember a dang thing he did, which means he did inconsequential. Anytime he did make a play, it was at an inconsequential moment. That being said, once again, Kroll is the odd man out here. It's not an indictment on him that he's on this team. It's an indictment on this roster as a whole for not having a solution behind Ingram at this point, which, I mean, we kind of featured Adam Troutman a little too much, in my opinion, in the first part of the game. But hey, he had that big catch and run, so good for him. But yeah, once again, Ingram, he was one of those guys that I felt like the fan base needed to temper their expectations a little bit because he's always been a low average depth of target guy. But even the yak ability just isn't there yet. And I'm just hoping that's a product of him, being one of those guys who's not completely 100%. And I think I will chalk it up to that, considering they're kind of trying to ease him in. But, once he gets going, watch out, man. That's how I feel about Evan Ingram. I just wanted us to have a legit chain mover and a legit, yak threat. And it looks like those are still a work in progress so far. But I'm happy that he at least looks like he knows what he's doing out there.
Mm-hmm. Now, T-Fishes brings up a great question here. And we got to start with Kodiak. Your thoughts on this? He said, how are we feeling about Riley overall? Personally, love the dude and hated the criticism. He got cooked early and locked in great for the rest of the game. Give me your thoughts on Riley Moss's performance today.
Well, I will say that every criticism the fan base has of him is not unwarranted or invalid, okay? The reason I say that is because, it's obviously been a tough start to the year for him. And, a lot of them, it's just perfect coverage, guys make plays. But when it just happens over and over again, it's just dang, even Higgins on that first third down, they converted him. Just dang, man, it just seems to keep happening. But, I love the way that he locked in. I love the way that he was able to lock in. But I will say, if he is struggling, he struggled in this matchup last year. Okay. And no doubt he wasn't the same player coming off that MCL, PCL injury or whatever. But, if you're Vance Joseph, that he struggled in this matchup last year. Why did you not give him any help? Why are you leaving him on islands against A, Chase, B, Higgins, who Higgins really had his way with him last year? So that's the way I feel about Riley Moss is okay, that he struggled in this matchup last year. Why did you not give him help on the early drives? But you are correct. He locked in afterwards. And I saw him clamp Higgins on a few of those third down routes that the Bengals were trying to run in the third quarter. In my opinion, Riley Moss is a big reason why I don't think the Bengals picked up a single first down in the second half. Now, you could fact check me on that you could bring it up if I'm not remembering anything, but I don't remember them picking up a single first down. And a lot of those third downs were like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and they still couldn't convert. And a lot of that is the credit of the secondary, in particular Riley Moss, who stepped up in a huge way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rep saying, yeah, against those receivers, he did great. I would agree with that, man. I was pissed off. I was texting y'all in the Discord saying, man, Riley's short arms coming up again, driving me crazy. Then he got that pass interference call. I'm just gonna chalk that one up to racism, man. People don't want to see these white corners succeed. But there was a little grab there. They call him Pat Surtain on that, man. I don't know about that, but yeah, he was the whole defense played pretty much perfect in the second half, man. Like, this is a great confidence booster, and I had to just bookmark this one, dude. Respect my coach saying, yeah, we're about to go beat the Eagles' ass. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling after this game, man. Like, we absolutely can go in there and play spoiler when we're one of the best running teams in all of football right now. Doesn't that just sound like fake news when I say it, Mark? Like,
it's crazy.
But we're actually running the ball pretty well, and Sean Payton leaned into it in the second half, and it paid off to where, we were able to get a dominating victory. But I think we can go play spoiler, man, and the Eagles will rightfully be favored. But I'm no longer terrified of this game.
No.
Yeah,
not at all.
Nope. No, not at all. I think we have a really good chance against the Eagles because there's a lot of things that I feel like I look at and say, I kind of like the way we match up against them in a way, right? Because like their strength, it's going to be strength against strength in a lot, right? You talk about our D-line is absolutely our strength of our defense. Their offensive line, they talk about the best in football, so it's going to be awesome. And then their D-line is really dominant, and our O-line is really good. So it's going to be one of those where, you speak about Riley Moss. He's going to have to come up big going up against Devontae Smith next week. And we know that PS2 will lock down A.J. Brown. And then we're going to have to see, man. I mean, it's one of those where Philly's kind of unique because they win games in a really weird, like unconventional way. And it's like, can it continue to be sustained? Did you know that Jalen Hurts didn't complete a pass in the second half of this last game?
Dude, that's insane.
They didn't even complete a pass, and they still won. Like
against Tampa's, Tampa's secondary. And I think they were trying to like still throw the ball. What were they, like 0 for 7, 0 for 8 throwing the football?
Yeah, but they just keep running. So you make it to where like, maybe you put it on them a little early. You got a couple good offensive drives. Things happen in the league, right? And then now they're kind of playing a little bit out of character and they got to throw the ball. It's going to be interesting. So we can make it messy if we wanted to, but I'm definitely not nearly as worried after a nice win, being 2-2, than if we were 1-3 going up there.
Yeah, 100%. And I do have one more thought about Riley Moss. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh God, that's blinding. But I looked up something. I was like looking up into. Okay, it's even more blinding. Either way, I looked up arm lengthening surgery. Okay, and apparently Moss has 8th percentile arm length in the NFL amongst corners. He has 30-inch arms. I don't know how long my arms are, but Mark said that he has longer arms than Riley Moss.
Way longer, yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to get Riley Moss that arm length surgery, like that's his problem. There are some times where they just put it where you can't get it. So if you can get him that surgery this upcoming season, he will be.
What's the recovery time on that? Did you see it?
Wait, let me check this.
Imagine they put him on IR this year because we need him back next year with longer arms. So
okay, 6 to 12 months or longer. Okay, get it in January or February, whenever we stop playing games.
Yeah. No, I liked Riley. I thought Riley rebounded really well today. He started off struggling again. He was kind of pressing, but I thought he did well. And one thing that stood out with him today actually is he was lined up one-on-one, bottom of the screen against Jamar Chase. I remember like, oh shit, they're obviously going to throw it there. And he jammed Jamar like hard. Like he jammed him back and kind of like stopped him. And then immediately Browning took his eyes like off the field. He ended up, it was the one where Yoshavash or whatever his name is, caught the ball across the middle. Yeah. But I was like, damn, all right. Like you'd like to see that from Riley. Here's the thing. He's super confident. And I'm not surprised that he's very sticky in coverage. He's always there. I'm just sick of him being always there and not making the plays. But to his credit, I thought he battled. I thought he played really well.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Is Jeremy in, by the way? Is he still not? I don't know.
No.
I just don't know. Maybe I haven't checked.
No, it's still us, man.
Getting out of that stadium can be rough.
Yes. Yeah, the new stadium, I imagine it will be much better. Let's hope. But Seth had this great comment, and we need to talk a little bit more about this secondary, saying watching Higgins and Chase on the bench, just moaning and chatting and eye rolling, it was awesome, dude. Aside from that, that first drive, it looked a little rough, but we've talked about Riley Moss. Pat Surtain made Jamar Chase totally irrelevant, and the one play that Cincinnati had to get some nice momentum against us. I don't know if this was the first drive or the second drive when they were throwing that like corner route out to Jamar Chase. Brandon Jones comes up there,
so
swats that thing away. And I feel like that was like the last time that we saw like anything.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. Well played by because Pat Surtain obviously knew that he had the safety there, but man, seeing him get there was impressive. Brandon Jones is such an underrated player on this defense.
Yeah.
Like he'll never get the love he deserves. He's so good.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's like I always forget his name, man. It just shows that he's forgotten too on the Super Bowl 50 team, the no-fly zone. Darian
Really?
Stewart. Darian Stewart never got the love he deserved on that defense because we had so many good players, but Darian Stewart was an absolute baller, an absolute killer.
Yeah, I want to pull up our box score here. Sorry it took me so long to do this. Hopefully this looks...
What I will say was a little disheartening was the opening drive of the game. I remember watching Alex Singleton miss like a tackle or like 3, and I was just like, man, here we go again. And this was against the Cincinnati team that has been historically bad at running the ball the first 3 weeks of the season. They were averaging 2.1 yards per carry. So they doubled their yards per carry output. So, I mean, Chase Brown had a good first drive against us, and, we did a good job on him for the rest of the game, but I don't know. Next week, it gets a little bit easier when we get Alex Singleton up against Saquon Barkley, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I think Chase Brown was one of like the least efficient starting running backs coming into this game, and they didn't really utilize him much in the second half for obvious reasons, right? But that is something to watch, man. Is that it wasn't looking as good against the run to start out for those first couple drives, man. Chase Brown, 4 yards a carry. Alex Singleton, he needs to play like the best game of his life, and it's going to be a revenge game because he used to play for Philly, right? So hopefully that can like go in our favor. But didn't see much of him. Didn't see much of Sternad.
I didn't even know if Sternad played a lot.
I didn't hear his name once.
Yeah. He was
had
out
3
there.
tackles, but I felt like every time, they were running like a lot of just one linebacker, and they were just running dime.
They probably were in dime a lot.
Which we should be. We have like the deepest group of corners in the NFL. We should be in dime a lot.
Yeah, which is why like maybe they had a little bit more success running than we kind of anticipated, but we were fine with it because it's like, as long as we don't get killed in the air, we can figure out the run game. But yeah, he had 3.
And okay, Savion Jones, his first game dressing. Okay. Guys, I gotta be honest, man. I didn't really notice him, but I was looking at other things with the defense. So, what'd you guys make of Savion Jones' play?
I only saw him on 1 snap, if I'm being for real. I only saw him like on 1 pass rush snap, and I think Jalen Rivers, the right guard on Cincinnati, won it. So honestly, I wasn't expecting him to like come in and wreck stuff this game, but yeah, I didn't really notice him either. So I can't really make a strong opinion about him after this game.
I thought he actually looked good. There was one thing. So he got a holding call. Like he caused the holding call because he absolutely killed the guy on one of the plays. I thought he played pretty well against the run. I tried to pay attention to it was weird. It was him and Uwazurike together. It wasn't like they put him with one of the starters. They kind of put them both. But yeah, he might not have played a lot of snaps, but those are the 2. And then I remember like appreciating a hustle play that he had, like chasing somebody to the sideline. He didn't get to him, but yeah, I didn't see a whole lot. But nice to see him activated and get some reps, man. That's what we need from him. So cool.
Yes, yeah, we need something from both him and Pat Bryant as the season moves on. And another guy to keep an eye on here is Garrett Wallow. I think he's had 3 elevations now.
Oh yeah,
tackle on special teams on one of the kick returns. He's somebody that I would imagine he would get signed to the active roster before Lavelle Bailey. So that's something to.
Or does it mean that Drew Sanders is ready to return next week? And that way we don't really need to worry about elevations for linebackers because he is eligible after this week.
That is true. That is true.
Now, I haven't heard that like it's expected, but it was weird because so Adam Schefter put like a list of like these are all the guys that are eligible to come back from IR, and they didn't mention Drew Sanders because it was more for fantasy, I think. And Mike Klis went out of his way to say, don't forget about linebacker Drew Sanders. So maybe he's hearing that he is on track to come back. But
getting his
are we really going to go down
against
the Drew Sanders
Philly.
rabbit hole again?
Yes, dude. If we're gonna have a chance to beat Philly, he's got to ball out next week, right?
I mean,
wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, but I mean, coming off of he hasn't
Every
played in
injury
God knows how long. I
imaginable,
think if he plays, he might play like 10 snaps.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw the Gruden thing I sent you guys earlier today, where Gruden literally talked about our game versus Cincinnati for an hour. And I think he spent probably 50 minutes of the hour, 50 minutes on our team because him and Sean are boys or whatever. But he actually did list in the injuries like Drew Sanders eligible to come back next week. Maybe he got some inside information. Who knows? But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't expect him to have like a huge impact on defense right away. That being said, I think, it's definitely big getting him back on special teams because he was a key special teamer for us last December when we were making our playoff push. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Very interesting, man. Also,
maybe Lucas Kroll gone, Drew Sanders back. Or might be your boy Prentice. Who knows?
Dude, and how about Prentice with a real fullback dive? Sean Payton finally did it, man.
Loved it. Works great in Madden, too, so you figure it's got to work in real life.
Yeah. Wait, what? Did Benito break his wrist? He had a cast?
I think he's talking about like the injury report because Benito has like been listed on the injury report with a wrist injury since the Titans game. So it's like not a new thing, but maybe he did. Who knows? But we haven't heard anything. And, he's still practicing on Wednesdays. So as far as that, I think
he was out there in the fourth quarter doing his thing.
Yeah, he was out there and he was sacking Jake Browning and applying a lot of pressure. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he did the Broncos Monday Night Dubs thing, and he's just waving his cast on his wrist around. But
okay, no biggie.
I think I don't know. Has he always? Maybe he's had it for a while. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Look at this though, 8 for 14 on third down. That was fantastic. We also rushed for 11 first downs. How about that? Beautiful.
It's so funny because I think this is the exact same first down disparity that we had last week against the Chargers, 29-9. And then I think it's a very similar third down efficiency to what we had against the Chargers. We went 2 for 13 last week. Cincinnati went 2 for 11 this week. Yep. And I think the Chargers went somewhere around 50, a little bit above 50% against us last week. And the play discrepancy too, 80-43. Now, the difference is we only lost that game by 3 points. Cincinnati, we blew the doors off of them. So if there's any silver lining in that, this is what it looks like when we're on the other side of those games. And the other side of those games looks like us losing by 3 points to the team leading in our division.
Oh, dude, and how beautiful was my favorite drive of the whole game was, we had 2 of them in the fourth quarter. One of them ended up being a punt, but it took 5 minutes off the clock. And then we had a 10-play, 76-yard drive, 6 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock. It was just like we bled the whole quarter out. We ended up scoring a touchdown. It was a thing of beauty. It was really nice to see. I love that. But it was funny because we were talking about, I was like, this game's going by way too slow because of all the stupid penalties. And then that just basically like finished the fourth quarter out. We're like, all right. So you got to love that.
I know something I was really mad about against the Colts and the Chargers is I felt like, we had one of those drives tonight that we did not have against the Colts or the Chargers where we could just run the football, run out the clock, just chew clock, grind clock. And you know what? It's part of being a team where this is still a new thing to us. Like the run game's been pretty terrible for most of the Sean Payton tenure. So I think that even the guys are just like, wait, we have a run game now. But regardless, I think if we have execution like this against the Colts, against the Chargers, we have a much better chance at finishing out those games. Whatever, hindsight's 2020. But regardless, I know we had a big lead when we took the field on this drive, which definitely helped. But once again, just the fact that we were able to run the football, run out the clock, and avoid going 3 and out and just keep things moving. That was huge in making sure that this game ended before 10 p.m. despite all the flags.
It was insane, man. Yeah, and they know you're going to run the ball in that situation too. We were able to just march down the field. The vision, I think we're starting to see it come to fruition with RJ Harvey involved in the passing game almost as much as the running game. 58 yards on 14 carries, and then you see again 4 receptions, 40 yards, and that touchdown. He looked very comfortable today, and both him and JK, man, they had such nice vision between the tackles, making guys miss, cutting, not just running into the first guy they see at the second level, man, like making guys miss and continuing to get yards after contact. Like, and a lot of my Cowboy fan friends, man, you know, they've been strangely very happy with Javonte Williams because he's an upgrade over Ezekiel Elliott. No doubt about it. But, man, I think J.K. Dobbins has to be like the best July signing, right? Like he is.
Yeah, you think so at this point?
Yeah.
But yeah, like
he's such a lovable guy, man. Like,
yes.
I don't know if you got a chance to watch that documentary on him with his injuries. I mean, he's unbelievable. Like, he's such a nice dude. You just root for. And he even was really funny in the presser today too. He's like, I hope you guys love me this much after the season. He's like talking to the media. But yeah, that guy's gone through a lot, man. And he still looks freaking good. He's special.
And I still think, like, I love the fact that RJ got 14 carries, man, because if we're going to keep JK healthy and fresh and explosive throughout the year, it's not giving him 25, 30 carries or whatever Jim Harbaugh was doing at the beginning of last season, right? Nah, you kind of gotta be a little bit more patient and methodical on like getting him touches. I think RJ, man, just took another step today. I think he looked phenomenal. And
I love how they like kept giving him the ball. They want him to get to 100. He looks at the sideline. He goes, "I'm at 101." They're like, "All right, you're done." He's like, "You're good, man. We'll run RJ now." So that was a cool little thing too. But he looked good, man. And dude, that pass, you know, where Bo missed RJ.
Dude,
it looked like they were just off. I mean, RJ's really
overthrow.
short too. That was a touchdown. That was a 60-yard tug. Really, really great play design. I'd like to see that probably with someone more like J.K. Dobbins, a little bit taller back, because he just looked so many running through. But yeah, that was a sweet play call. So hopefully we can see a little bit more of those like Texas routes and stuff like that.
It's good to have 27, dude, back in the backfield, man. The number 27 mark, I just think, you know, it should for the most part be worn on offense. I wish we had a back wearing 26, but I'll take RJ Harvey's 12. You know, it's grown on me, man.
It's growing a little bit, right? It's getting there.
I think it's cool. And
definitely better than a little Toast having 27. That's for sure.
Dude, oh yeah, dude. Yeah, Little Toast. Yeah, his career's done. Hope that injury. Dude, by the way, did you see Tyreek Hill dislocate his knee? That was insane.
That was nasty. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor dude, man. That sucks.
Yeah. Well, now he's not going to get traded back to KC. So
no, that's true.
Now I know Rep is bringing this up in the comments. Really impressed with Bo Nix. It was even less time than I thought. 1 minute, 1 second, or I guess no. I don't know.
What is it?
It was like 110. They got the ball with like around 110 left. At the end of the first half, Evan Ingram 2 yards. Then Bo Nix hits Troy Franklin for 11 yards.
Yeah.
Then Bo Nix hits Marvin Mims, and dude, this was such a nice catch from Mims.
Oh yeah,
on the deep outside for 28 yards. Took a lick after catching this as well. That was great. Yeah. Tyler Bidet, again, he should not play much, but when he gets on the field, this is what you want to see him do. 11-yard catch, gets out of bounds, and then it's capped off with a pass to Cortland Sutton for 8 yards, and then a 20-yard pass, man, over the middle. Just methodical. And again, after making such a terrible play on the last drive to end it, Hopefully this is like a turning point for Bo Nix, man. I don't want to see any more dumb decisions like that in the red zone. Is that his third red zone turnover this year?
Yeah.
Kodiak, you're the memory guy.
Third red zone.
I was about to say, I don't remember him turning the football over in the red zone necessarily. I know we were at the fringe, or we were outside of it, just barely against Indianapolis when he threw that pick. But
we had one against Tennessee, I think, in the end zone.
I don't remember that being in the end zone. I remember he got picked twice. I think two of them were like around at midfield.
Oh,
I think you're thinking about week 1, his rookie year. He had one in the end zone.
dude,
he did.
Could be.
He had some ugly ones, man. Okay, fact check me on that. But nonetheless, great to see. We're gonna need Bo Nix to play the best game of his career. I think if we're gonna go and upset Philly, man, they just seem inevitable. They win right now in the dumbest ways, but they're still like destroying these teams. And I was talking with my friend Rawhide. When they beat the Rams, they blocked their last 2 field goal attempts to seal the game, and they blocked the second one even more convincingly than the first one. That's what's terrifying about Philly. But with being able to establish the run, having our young weapons start to get involved a little bit more. Hopefully we see Evan Ingram utilized more, man. With the way we're running the ball and our defense finally getting their mojo back, who's to say we can't beat Philly?
No, I mean, I think we can.
I think we could beat Philly.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if I'm going to bet on it just yet, but we can beat them.
No, you don't bet on it. But this is such a good, I think Kodiak made a great point earlier where he's like, this team's got a lot of similarities to the team last year. And today it kind of showed that because we just stomped the teams we're supposed to. This is going to be the true litmus test. Like, you're playing a team on the road, similar to the Ravens game last year where you got, killed. Can they show up? And how are they going to be able to stack up? If you really want a good measuring stick game, I think this is it. I just have a feeling we're going to play well. I don't necessarily know if we're going to win, but I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah,
I just hate the 11 a.m. kickoffs, man.
Yeah, I agree. And also, we are staying in the Greenbrier this week. And you remember what happened when we stayed?
Are we really?
Yeah, I think so. Because
on a short week?
Because we go to Philly and then we have London immediately after. And I think Sean Payton had said that we were going to. I think that's what he said. Someone fact check me on that. But regardless, when Philly was originally announced back in May, I was just like, all right, scheduled loss, because we're coming off the Bengals Monday Night Football, and then we fly to London immediately after. But then, now that you didn't really have to play a really physical or competitive game on Monday night, I think that really works into our favor. And, it could be easy for the players to be distracted and be like, all right, we're going to London next week. But one thing about Sean Payton, he always keeps his players grounded, and he always wins games that honestly you think you should have no business winning. And remember what happened when we stayed at the Greenbrier last year, 2-0 on the road. Tough teams, tough defense with Robert Saleh and the Jets up there in that hurricane. And then we blew the doors off Tampa a week after they beat Detroit in their own stadium. So that's just something that's important to remember. Now, what does scare me, I just don't think we can get it done with Alex Singleton up against Saquon Barkley, because this defense continues to leak yards in the opening drives, and it's Singleton against Barkley. So my expectations for that are a JT-esque performance out of Saquon next week. That being said, it's going to be on the offense to keep up, in my opinion, because this defense just keeps leaking yards, for better or for worse. We saw it in the opening drive tonight, and they leaked yards against the Chargers, against the Colts.
But they're so good in the red zone. Like, that's what makes them really impressive, is like they'll consistently hold team to 3 points, and you can deal with that as long as your offense is clicking. Because their red zone defense is ridiculous.
BK, I'm laughing because it's true, man. Not because I don't think Kodiak's not right. I think it's because he's absolutely right, man. Alex Singleton's going to have to play the game of his life. And maybe we see more Talanoa Hufanga, dude, just right there in the box. Maybe that can help. But they also have some darn good tight ends that we need to cover as well. And, man, the Rams, they're a whole other beast, I feel like, than our offense right now. But they did put up quite a few points on Philly. So there are things possible to do to score on that defense. But man, we need Alex Singleton playing good. We need Luke Wattenberg playing good. And we need Bo Nix to have a perfect game decision-making wise, man. We cannot allow him to even just one dumb throw, dude. I feel like Philly will take advantage of it, man. But it's the battle of the white corners, Cooper DeJean versus Riley Moss. Which white corner is going to be worse? Which one's going to be better? Jeremy was just on for a second, and I was going to bring him up here because he was at the game. But I don't see him anymore.
Okay, while you're waiting for him, I do want to respond to Paul Schaefer in the chat. He said they barely made it past the 50 Kodiak. While that is true, while that is very, very true, I'm not using this game as like a valid measuring stick. And we did see it on the opening drive where we did come out a little flat, if anything. So if you want to criticize the defense on anything, but I'm not using this game as a measuring stick like at all. But we have a lot of samples, even going back to the Cleveland game last year. If you remove the KC game, the Tennessee game, and this game right now, the defense has been pretty porous, at giving up yardage, but there are clamps in the red zone. So we'll see what happens. That's what the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah. I mean, I think the way the defense is set up, like with the shell coverage we always talk about, and man, and mixing in some zone, like in the red zone, we're almost like don't mind giving up yards, but we rely a lot on getting sacks, stopping them in the red zone and getting turnovers. That was working for us last year. And those games where we didn't really get, a lot of sacks or really any turnovers. I mean, yeah, we got absolutely bottled up. So this would have been, man, this game up against Philly would have been a really nice game to have Drake Greenlaw home.
Yes.
Jeremy,
give me a thumbs up when you're. Oh, it's sweet, dude. You're ready to go.
Hey,
dude. How was the game? How was the atmosphere? Give us your takeaways.
Dude, the tickets were so good and I was so close to the field. I literally felt like I was helping coaching. Like I was like, come on, Marv, let's go, Bo. Like seriously, I was like, they could literally hear me. Like I was right behind the Bengals, and everybody. There was a bunch of Bengals fans, and they were like yelling at the coach, and they were like thumbing up the crowd and everything. It was wild. But from my point of view, the game was like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch the replay of it, because to me it was like, it was easy. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
The Broncos have had we've had two preseason games and two heartbreakers so far in this regular season.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
It's been weird.
Dude, even in the fourth quarter when like the Bengals, we got them, fourth down, and they decided to punt it and we were up, and I was like, oh, they don't even want to be on the field. They're literally wanting to go home. So I want to hear from you guys. What did how was the TV watching experience?
Dude, we dominated, man.
Yeah.
I think we're all overall really, really happy. We got a run game. J.K. Dobbins got 100 yards. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. The guy in front of me was like, he got 100 yards. It's been so long with him. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Right.
That's how I felt, though.
But we got to know, like, how loud was it? I mean, I feel like the crowd caused a handful of penalties, and just, what everybody think of Bo and the offense this time around?
Yeah, it was like, honestly, I don't know. I mean, Repsum just said I have a case of the main character syndrome, and I'm all lean into it, because honestly, when we got there, the game was already started, and I was like, "Let's go, come on!" I started, and then my friend who I came with, he's got like the loudest whistle I've ever. I'm like half deaf from that, and the whole crowd just got super pumped up, and we were doing that, and I was just like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" It was great. No, people were fired up for sure when it came to like the third downs, for sure. Like, it was rocking in there. And the one thing that's interesting is I was sitting there looking at the stadium and this huge giant screen that looks all good and everything. I'm like, they're going to tear this place down in 5 years. It's not bad, it's still really nice, but it'll be.
How was the traffic when you left?
So we parked a little bit for like a 20-minute walk. And so from us, it was just like, we jumped right onto 6th and straight home. So it wasn't bad. but we had to walk out. We didn't park at the stadium. That would have been a nightmare. So we walked far enough away. But yeah, it was I don't know. Like to me, it was like when we showed up, when we got to our seats, we were down 3-0. I didn't know what had happened the first, 7 minutes of the game or whatever.
Penalties.
Is that what happened? I didn't know if we deferred or whatever.
We did defer. We did. And that was one thing I said I wanted us to take the ball, but we ended up deferring this year. 4-0 on the coin toss, by the way, this year.
Yeah.
Keeping track.
We had it. Yeah. 2 years ago, I felt like we lost every coin flip. So we're catching back up here. How did you guys feel about that 4th down and 2 Bo interception, which I don't know if you guys saw it. Did you think that was an interception? Or do you think it looked like he dropped it?
Yeah, I think it was. And it was also a terrible decision. I don't know who he was throwing it to.
It was Mims in the corner. Or no, it was Franklin. It was Franklin in the corner.
He was totally covered. That's the thing.
In that situation, there's 2 options that are okay. Scoring and throwing an incompletion. Then the third, like one bad option, but decently bad, would be like taking a sack, but like whatever, still not in the day. Throwing a pick was the worst, but we got lucky that we ended up, defense got to stop. We ended up scoring, but yeah, I didn't like that, but it wasn't the end of the world for me.
Yeah, a part of me was like, it's 4th and 2. I guess you're just gonna force it in there. If you throw an incompletion or a pick, I mean, you're gonna get it on the 20 instead of the 2 or whatever. But if you throw it away there because you have nobody, like that's really stupid to do that on 4th down. So I don't know. I think he was gonna jam it.
He was gonna have a corner, or no, maybe it was Demetrius Knight that was back there on the corner. I just still feel like he could have ran that thing in.
I agree. I think he should have ran. No, that's what I thought in the moment.
So here's what I said, and my dad will back me up in this. I know this was not very popular amongst when I tweeted it out and put it in the Discord. I would have kicked field goal there. Here's why. You would have had the chance to go up 17-3 before half. And with how your defense was playing, you knew you were going to get the football. So had Cincinnati scored again, it still would have been a 17-10 game. That's why I would have taken the points. I understand why they went for it on 4th down. But me, I'm obviously not the coach, but I would have kicked it. I understand why they did, though, but that was my opinion. But I don't fault the Broncos for that or anything.
No.
Yeah, I think they were going for the
bringing up a good point here, too. We were running the ball so well on that drive, too, and it would have been nice to just punch that thing in, man, on 4th and 1. Like, but it was
when
nice.
They had RJ in the Wildcat, I thought they were going to do a jump pass.
Me too.
Because I was like, he played quarterback, man. And then there was another one where they tossed it. I thought he was going to throw it. I'm waiting for the RJ throw.
How did you guys feel about RJ Harvey? Because like JK had the bulk, but at the end there, he was looking.
He had 94, 95, like all-purpose yards, dude.
Is that what he ended up?
Yeah, fantastic. So
yeah. Slippery.
You had almost 200 total yards between him and JK, and that's a very nice combo. So, man, and I mean the guys. I thought the uniforms looked real good on the broadcast. Oh, yeah. Did they pop it on the field, Jeremy?
Totally. Like I was in the stands being like, those. I agree with Mark what he said. Those should be the regular game unis. I always like the Navy anyways, personally, but they look great. They always save those for like a night game. But every time.
Sorry, I just want to add one thing. Like the white helmet is like, I always wasn't the biggest fan of it. I think tonight it showed like the white helmet is awful.
Yes.
And maybe if you're gonna wear it with like orange jerseys, I think it'd actually look cooler there. But with the navies, dude, you gotta have the Navy helmet.
Totally.
Yes.
100%. When I was making the thumbnail, I was looking for the midnight Navy jerseys from last year, but they were in that white helmet, and I was like, ugh, those don't look right. But the little game threads graphic that they sent out before the game, I was like, that looks great. So I agree.
I also love the slight change they made in the midnight Navy jerseys, as opposed to like way before we went to the orange primaries, years ago, like the Shanahan era or Josh Tebow era, whatever. But I like this shade of navy a lot better, and I think you just wear them at night. Maybe you wear some throwbacks at night too at some point, but I would like it overall if you could kind of rock 4 different combinations at home. Like, I would like to get to that place where we kind of have 3 uniform combinations that we just kind of rotate through.
Yeah, I think the navy tops with the white bottoms would be really nice. Like, that was kind of the combo that we used to wear a lot too. I just feel like, because I remember when we had navy as our main home jerseys, every time we wore the orange, it was like special. It was cool. It was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, dude, I'm so sick of this orange, dude. And like, I don't know. I just have like so many bad memories in that color, but I hate it. I'm like, you know what? Orange is one of those where it should be our alternate. Like, you wear it a couple times a year. It's a special type of thing and you move on. But I think it's time to maybe I should start like a petition or something. Would you guys sign it?
Definitely.
No,
I want it.
No, and here's
But I
why.
would share it.
Here's why.
You wouldn't sign it? That's rude, bro.
I like the orange.
Listen,
You do?
Yeah.
my first 2 seasons
That's-
following the Broncos were 2010 and 2011. And anytime I'd go to games, even if we were wearing the navy blue, the entire stadium would be decked out in orange. Okay. Orange is just our
Perfect.
color, in my opinion. That's the way I
Perfect.
feel about it. Like,
No problem. Let the fans wear it.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
You look so much better in navy, though.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree. That
like-
the navy.
Like, I bought this, the old school one. It's like one of the few orange that I have. And like, I like it, but I don't love it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Orange is, it's always going to be like a complementary color to me. I'm not a big fan of it being the main, but I've gotten to the point where I'm at peace with it. So it's fine.
And I think the navy, if that was the primary, the throwback oranges would be even more special too.
Yeah.
So, which those are the best jerseys, let's be honest.
Now, have we talked at all about seeing the white throwbacks?
That,
We gonna-
I thought they were going to announce that, but I'm nothing. So that's what I was.
I don't even know if
really
they have.
No, they don't right now.
That would be sweet.
They're
It would be a
so-
sweet game if we wore the throwback. We're probably going to wear the throwbacks versus the Cowboys. That'll be like old school memories.
Mm,
so sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a good game for that.
Why don't we all go around, if you guys are cool with this, and share your player of the game? Because Jeremy, we've done like a lot of recaps on every little thing, but it would be cool to hear what everybody's player of the game is. Does anybody have one? Or I'll start.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Dude, I got to start with the obvious one. It's J.K. Dobbins. We went 38 games. Sean Payton didn't decide to run the ball until this game. It was amazing. Hopefully that gives him confidence to have a more balanced, patient approach against Philly. And I just had flashbacks, man, to No Sean Moreno. This is who he was supposed to look like. This J.K. Dobbins, man. This was fantastic. J.K. is helping establish a tougher identity with this offense, hopefully moving forward. So he is my player of the game.
It's not Jeremy Crawshaw?
No,
Surprised by that.
probably his worst game of the year, man.
Not based on the numbers.
Oh, for real? For real? He had a couple.
His net average was 50.
Dude, take that all day.
I think it's because he had a 62-yard bomb that went into the end zone.
Mhm.
And I don't know if like when they call a penalty, it takes it off the net yards. But anyways, sorry. I'm like going down a lot of rabbit holes because I'm kind of getting like loopy. But
Yes.
my player of the game today, well deserved. I'll eat my crow, even though I haven't like shit on him that hard, is Cortland Sutton, man. You talk about the ultimate insurance policy. The guy that just said, you know what? We need to right the ship. You need to play. I'm going to make it. 5 catches on 6 targets, 81 yards, and a massive touchdown. It just seems like every time we need a play to happen, it's going to Cortland. He makes it. So shout out to him. And that's my player of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be the guy. I'll be his defender. Like, he's heard the noise. Sophomore slump. Oh, does he suck? He's got happy feet. Not tonight. Other than that 1 4th down that he forced. Bo Nix, dude, throwing strikes. Like, he had a couple throws in there that were he just ripped them.
Yes.
And man, it was like so nice to see. Like, I remember one specifically that he just stuck into Mims, and Mims kind of got hit awkwardly. He like beat the first guy and then got hit kind of back the second guy. But that was such a good throw that he just like laced in there, and he looked cool and calm as a cucumber back there. Like I was watching his feet, and it was just, it was pretty. It was pretty. Bo, good job, man. Way to answer the bell. You know.
Yes, he was phenomenal. We got our franchise quarterback again. It's wonderful. Kodiak.
Of course, I say Bo. Of course.
Well, I mean, you guys have said pretty much every other realistic possibility, but so I will take this time to shout out a player who I was really, really happy with tonight, and that was Garrett Bowles. Once again, you had such a tough assignment tonight with Trey Hendrickson, and I didn't hear Hendrickson's name once. Actually, I think he got like maybe in the backfield once for like a run stop or whatever. But other than that, him and McGlinchey both just completely kept Hendrickson off the play sheet. And Hendrickson was one of the reasons why through like 2.5 quarters last year in Cincinnati, we really struggled. And we couldn't move the football. And honestly, it was all because of the pressure that Trey Hendrickson was getting them. And for all the injuries that they had on their defense, and, I know Shamar Stewart out or whatever, the one guy who really could have hurt you was Trey Hendrickson. So I want to give a huge shout out to this offensive line, not only for neutralizing Hendrickson, but for allowing it to happen for J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey.
Mm-hmm. And Rep coming in here, this is something that Strez and I might do, dick of the game, because we just need some mean football players on this team. So I'm not really sure in just a total whooping who is our dick of the game. You'll have to tune in on Thursday to see, but I remember Jonathan Cooper was talking some mess to Jake Browning after one of his hits, and it's all I kind of noticed.
John Franklin Meyer, I think, jawed. I saw one, Alex Singleton, he had tackled, I think, Chase Brown back, and he was like helmet to helmet with him, and it looked like he was saying something. But yeah, we don't have a lot of dicks on this game.
I know, that's what we need, man.
But Kodiak, shout out to you, dude. That Garrett Bowles is a great call, man.
Yes.
Because I think he's quietly making a case for an all-pro season. He's been that good. He's just been unbelievable. Steady, no penalties.
I was about to say, through all the faults that the offensive line has had through the first month or so of the season, I think a lot of people have talked about Quinn Miners being a little wishy-washy, like not his usual self. I think that'll turn around pretty soon. A lot of people are talking about Wattenberg. Not enough people talking about Powers. Not enough people talking about McGlinchey, but Garrett Bowles is having an unbelievable year. So I think a lot of people in Broncos country should start to take notice. Maybe I'll put up a cut up tomorrow of him, having the awesome season he's had so far. Because
Ring of Famer.
Yeah, Ring of Famer for sure. I can't believe this is the same player that I used to watch his rookie year in 2017. And I remember the Broncos were so mad. Oh, we should have taken Ramczyk. Ramczyk's out of the league now because he had that cartilage thing. And Bowles might have an all-pro year.
And it was almost weird with him because he only continued to get a chance because we had no options. I think his backup got hurt. We literally had no one to go to. They wanted to bench him, but they're like, whatever, we're forced to roll out with this guy. And all it did was make him an unbelievably good player. And I think it just goes to show sometimes you got to stick with your guys,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. 2020 was the first season that he really had a good chance. He really, really did awesome. And I just remember 2019, 2018, I feel like a lot of people would have harped on Bowles if not for literally one of the worst right tackles I've ever seen in Elijah Wilkinson. He was the target and the lightning rod for the fans at that time. I just remember watching him, and I was just like, man, this guy is awful.
Garrett Holds is what everybody used to call him. Remember that first year? It was he'd get one a game, and everybody was frustrated. But I was constantly I think that was the Drew Lock era, and I was just well, I would rather have him get a penalty, one a game, and have our quarterback not get hit than just somebody just the right tackle. It's just literally a turnstile. Nobody was even there. Menelik Watsons and God, you could just go.
Was it Donald Stevenson you said, or who was it, Kodiak?
Elijah Wilkinson, but
Elijah Wilkinson
also awful. I've told people that we from 2015 to 2022, we were the Cleveland Browns of right tackles until we got McGlinchey. So McGlinchey, I don't give a shit what you pay him. He is worth every penny. Even if he has his bad games, I don't give a shit. He is way better than all those trash cans.
Dude.
Now you got Palcho.
Preach. Dude, it was
a good game today.
Yeah. It was an unbroken boulevard of ass at right tackle for years. Jawan James, like we just could never. I mean, even when we paid for it, it was just like we could never figure it out. God, it was so horrible.
Who was Nate Hackett's best buddy that we brought back here, and he just never played?
Oh, Billy
Oh
Turner.
my God.
Billy Turner.
Who was that? Well, he's from Green Bay, right?
He was
Yep.
a swing tackle, yeah.
Yeah,
Who?
that was the second stint here.
Billy
with
Turner.
Hackett. Yeah.
Oh, Billy Turner.
Awful.
Dude, Menelik Watson just gives me nightmares still.
Donald Stevenson. Dude
And
is a
remember-
freaking. They're all turnstiles, man.
Who was the other guy? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Schofield. Remember him? Oh my
He ended up
gosh.
becoming a good guard though for LA, didn't he?
He
Wow.
did. He ended up turning. Yeah, I think he's still playing.
Isn't he with Atlanta? Wait, let me check.
Yeah,
Really?
he ended up really turning his. Remember Ty Sombrilo?
Sombrilo. That's what I was just trying to. I was just trying to think of his name. He had an injury,
He
but
sucked.
Yeah, there was like one year they were like hyping him up, like they're really excited, and then they traded him.
yeah. Well, even in this game, like leading up to this game, I was listening to the breakdowns, and like Dalton Reisner was supposed to be this unbelievable player for us, and I was so excited when we drafted him. He's a local kid. He was amazing at Kansas State. Like I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. He's going to help Bull so much, and that just he had his rookie year he played well, and then after that, just not
Yeah.
again.
I know.
He got benched tonight. He was supposed to play. He was supposed to start. They benched him.
Yeah. I asked you guys, like, what do you think happened? I remember in the summer in the Discord, I was like, what happened to Reisner? Then Mark put it best. He was like, dude, as soon as Pat Shurmur came into the building, all those guys regressed and their development just hit it. Like he said, every time Pat Shurmur or whenever Pat Shurmur came into the building, everybody just went to shit and regressed. And I was just like, you know what? Fair assessment.
Except for
I think
Bulls.
was it David that said that? I didn't say it.
No,
I don't
no,
wanna
no.
take
You
that.
definitely said it. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
I don't think it was me.
Hold on.
Did I? Maybe I
think
did.
so,
Maybe
but
I
I thought
said
it was a fantastic explanation because I've always wondered why did Reisner like never pan out after his good rookie year?
Yeah.
He got a really hot wife, and then after that, he kind of went downhill. So I don't know if that had something to do with it.
I don't
He was-
remember if. Yeah, I don't remember if he had any kind of injury too.
I don't
That
know.
may
He
be
pushed
like-
Jarrett Stidham.
He
That's all I
did.
Push-
I remember he had some injury, but
Was
it
it
like,
Stidham or was it? No,
Or was
it
it
was the other
Russ?
backup. Was it Stiddy? It was Russ's backup though. Rippin? I think it was Rippin.
Was it Rippin?
Yeah.
Can't push Brett Rippin.
Oh yeah, no, it was ripping 100%. Yeah.
Dude, if we had Graham Glasgow, if we moved him to center, dude,
Yeah.
we would be killing it, man.
He was fantastic.
Dude, he was so bad for us for the last 2 years when he was on our team too.
Dude, he sucked, man.
Oh, he was so bad, and everyone's like, "God, I can't wait to get rid of Graham Glasgow." And then all of a sudden, I guess he
Freaking
was
Pro
dealing with
Bowler in
injuries.
Detroit.
Yeah,
Still balling out of his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yep.
played well.
yep. I thought, quick shout out, Mims had a really good game. I thought, like, I mean, he jet sweeps, great catches across, like good returns. Like I thought, just really solid stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
man.
so good, man.
He was tough. And yeah, like you said, that big, like 20-something yard catch he had, dude, he
Mhm.
got hit hard and he
He
held
did.
on to that thing. So it was nice to see Sean Payton integrate more of those jet sweeps. And Pat Bryant had a huge block on his touchdown run, Martin Mims, that is. So that was great to see as well. So, and again, nice to see Bo hit guys over the middle downfield. I think that's huge coming into Philly, being able to hit all parts of the field. That's going to be needed, man.
It's a Vic
Yeah.
Fangio revenge game, baby. I hope we go there and smack him.
Oh yeah, that little bend don't break defense. Well, dude, let's get their players to spit on us before the beginning of the game. It's really
I'm
what
down.
we need.
Yeah, we've got Wattenberg against Jalen Carter and Singleton against Saquon. But also Christian Parker, our DB coach. You guys remember him?
Yeah.
Did a phenomenal job last year with Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. So we'll see. I don't know. But once again, Fangio, if you guys remembered when he was here, he played a very passive defense. Okay. Remember how many times we'd get the other teams into 2nd and 8, and for whatever reason, they'd always pick up 6 to 7 yards. And I'd just be like, oh my God, this is so frustrating. So hopefully Sean can take advantage of that. Hopefully Sean Payton can, just allow, whatever to take the chunk plays. And hopefully our offensive line really, really shows out against the Eagles defensive line. That's always tough and always stout.
Dude, I need to check. Did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers activate Desmond Watson for yesterday's game?
I don't think.
I think if they did, I would have heard all about it, and I would have been posting all about it. So no, they didn't.
We need to sign him to the active roster. He did not at least register any tackles.
Oh.
Yeah, you got me scared now, Cody. I didn't even think about Jalen Carter on Wattenberg. I didn't even get that far down to think about that yet. Oh God, that's gonna give me nightmares.
But once again, the pass pro been pretty solid, but we'll see. You know, it's hard for any of us to be upset with the run blocking with how tonight's game went. But you know what? They've been pretty inconsistent. And if you can find a way to get it done against Philly, then I don't know.
Just throw it towards Reed Blankenship.
Yeah.
Philly's one of those weird teams that, like, I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, but like they're ripe to steal one here. I honestly
they're like the Chiefs last year, kind of. That's kind of how they feel.
Yeah, just like they're good. They're not going to beat themselves. They're a smart team, but like they're not exactly like lighting it up. Like they've averaged 200 yards on offense like the last couple games. That hasn't been so dynamic. But Vic Fangio, I will always remember Vic Fangio as the guy who, when the opening press conference of him getting hired, he was like, it's going to be like, I don't want this team to have death by inches, like, and all stuff. And then it was like, it was death by like 7-yard like slants, dude. Like all game long, bro. Like he was the ultimate bend don't break guy, but like he's the most bendy defense I've ever seen for a guy who's supposed to be a defensive like guru. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be. It was like he's the ultimate like Wade Phillips, like where it's just like he's just a coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except I think Wade Phillips enjoys himself a lot more than Vic Fangio does. Like, remember they
total opposite personality.
They won the Super Bowl this year, and I don't even think he didn't smile once. I think.
Right.
And what is
love
going
those
on in
meatballs.
that man's life not to be happy?
Exactly.
He loved himself those meatballs, and that was all.
Did you have another thought? Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, what's crazy is, and I know stats don't mean anything, but Philly's got the 30th ranked offense and the 22nd ranked defense in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
but they're smart.
But they are top 5 in turnover differential. That's basically the difference. So
let me go to
the ball
and see what the line is.
It's probably,
and we're officially a top 5 rushing team in the NFL, by the way.
Wow.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that the line earlier today when it first came out was Broncos are 5.5 point dogs. And this game, honestly, like it reminds me a lot of the KC game last year, where you're playing against a team that honestly they really haven't looked all that great, but they just keep finding ways to get it done. And honestly, the Eagles should have lost to the Rams. The Eagles should have lost to the Rams. Like it took 2 unmitigated all-time special teams disasters for them to not lose. But yeah, I don't know. I've been anything but impressed when I've watched Philly. Now, obviously, it's still the Eagles. They're still a pretty good team. They're still the defending Super Bowl champions, one of the best rosters in the NFL. And they do have mismatches that, if we lose 45-10, I said it back in May, I won't be surprised because we have Singleton against Saquon, and we also fly to London right after the game. But you know what? Sean Payton, he's good at keeping the guys focused. So that's what I have to hang on my hat on there.
I really thought helped this game and Bo settle down was watching that Giants game yesterday when they like Jackson Dart using his legs early to settle himself down. Bo running for that touchdown early in this game was the exact same feeling I felt. It's like just take what you get, and then it's going to change the way they're going to play you, and then 1,000%. You can slice. So just.
And he was decisive to take it. Did he get like a few calls back from penalty? Because it shows that he only had 7 yards.
Oh, he must have, yeah.
And he didn't take any sacks.
I mean, I think he only ran it like a couple times, right?
I felt like I remember him like, good job, way to use your legs. And maybe a couple got called back. But regardless, I liked that he was decisive. And then, man, there was a couple play. It was one play he made. 3 of them that stuck out. One of them was the quick pass on the screen to I think it was Troy Franklin, where like the guy was a free blitzer. He saw him and he just like aborted the handoff, threw it. That was cool. But there was another one where I loved how he like ran up in the pocket, slid over, and delivered a throw. Like he did look a lot more composed. And I just feel like, and then when he runs in the hurry up, it's just we should always run hurry up.
That's how we should open up against Philly, man.
I think X nailed it last week when he said like, I do think there was too many personnel changes, and I know that's Sean's thing, and you know you're paying this guy as a genius, all the stuff, right? But like you have a young team, you have a young quarterback. That is a lot of things to handle, like especially early in the second season. Just like make him comfortable, and then like let's add some stuff. Let's perfect 10 to 15 plays, and then add. Let's not try to perfect 30 plays off the bat and 15 personnel changes.
I don't want to see no mass subs in Philly next week. We're going to have massive issues if we're doing that.
I think a lot of it has to do with, it's kind of like the genius of Bo Lowry and his team though too. Like they track every single like 0.1 miles that these guys run and play. They're very diligent about like the amount of reps that they get. So it's like, if that's the case, because I'm just speculating, is that a good trade-off? Like you might have some sloppy play and you might have a little bit of like growing pains to learn a very complex offense with a bunch of subs if it means a higher chance of staying healthy throughout the season?
Yes, 1,000%. Because we saw for so many years how many millions of dollars we put on IR. And the fact that Notre Dame was the most injured team in college football last year really shows me that, honestly, our strength and conditioning coach should probably not be a strength and conditioning coach anywhere. But football is an industry where you fail upwards. But yes, to answer your question, Mark, yes, that is a trade-off I am willing to take. Because honestly, it might just take an extra game or two to learn the offense for all these guys while they're subbing out. But that's what I'm thinking.
If it
they're like,
leads to
I
some
mean,
playoff
everything
success,
to the
yeah.
T.
Mm-hmm.
Everything to the T of like, I want this guy to play this amount, that, you know, this guy to play that amount. He was talking about it. One of the pressers, like they track every single movement and rep that they've taken and how many miles they've ran, and they'll even stop them in practice. Like somebody mentioned it about Brandon Jones. They're like, yeah, we had to hold Brandon Jones back in practice a little bit today because he's way over it. Like he's getting close to the threshold that we want him to be at for like distance ran. I'm like, damn, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool stuff.
And they just hired another numbers dude, another number cruncher. So I wonder
That
what
guy
he's going to be doing.
He's a freaking rocket scientist.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be on the business side of like data analytics and efficiency, or if there's going to be like a lot of on-field stuff, or both. That's pretty damn cool.
Mm-hmm. It is. Guys, I'm about out of words, and I think these blue light glasses are working because I'm about to fall asleep. I'm so tired. But does anybody got like any other like final takeaways? And yeah, nice to see us have success on our one Monday Night Football appearance.
Oh God, thank you for that. Remember the years that it's like every time we'd have a freaking national game, it was just a debacle, and you just felt like the dumbest franchise in the league. Like the Russ
Those
years,
Russell Wilson years,
my
yeah,
God.
dude.
That was the
I
worst.
feel like we
First
kind
year.
of turned it around in the final Russ year with Sean. Like we had that big win against Buffalo. But I used to apologize to NFL fans on Twitter. Like, I'm so sorry that you have to watch my horrifying team play.
Until we had like 5 or 6 primetime games that the first year with Russ.
Yeah, because all the hype.
And they were early too.
But man, remember Russ went out on a primetime Christmas Eve game. Remember, I'll never forget that game.
No, but
that was my Christmas.
That 5-game winning streak like we had in the middle of the year. I think the most thrilling win we've had in years for me was the game we beat Minnesota on the Sunday night game. Like, because we should have never, ever had a chance to win that game, and we came crawling back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember that win.
No, against Josh Dobbs.
Oh,
that's right.
One.
That's right. The
Yes.
Dobbs game.
That was Will Lutz's best game as a Broncos. He was clutch. But no final thoughts from me, man. I think we kind of I probably talked a little bit more than I wanted to tonight, so I appreciate y'all. But I don't know if you guys have any final thoughts.
Kodiak?
No. I've said a lot tonight as well, but keep an eye on my channel. I'll have some stuff. Follow me on TikTok if you don't already, because my TikTok's getting way bigger than my YouTube. So follow me on TikTok at Kodiak Broncos. And also in my bio, you will find the link to David Talks Sports on TikTok and Marquee Sports Denver as well on TikTok.
Ooh, yes. Thank you. Reminds me, guys, if you're in the chat and you want to chat with all of us every day, hit the link in my description. You can join on Patreon, just a few bucks a month. You can chat with us and all your other favorite Denver Broncos creators. Even Perna says hi every blue moon. So, yeah, y'all join in there. Until then, I guess we'll be back for our next horsepower hour next Monday, hopefully after getting an upset against Philly. So Alex Singleton, Luke Wattenberg, games of their life coming in. Really appreciate you guys. We do not answer fantasy questions, but Mark is your guy for that. So go subscribe to Marquee Sports.
Shoot him over.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have a wonderful night and go Broncos. Let me find the outro video. There we go.
Oh, Broncos.
God bless Bo Nix. That sacrifice is grabbed, and he's going to be sacked.